Hello there and welcome to my review of The Man with the Golden Gun, the second Roger Moore James Bond film. This film sees Bond on the trail of a missing solar energy expert named Gibson, but when his life is threatened by a well-known famous hitman named Scaramanga, Francisco Scaramanga, the Man with the Golden Gun, he's taken off the case. However, when Gibson is assassinated by Scaramanga, Bond must overcome the threat on his life by the Man with the Golden Gun and also find the missing Solex agitator that Scaramanga stole from Gibson. This is not a good Bond film, and it's certainly not an improvement on Live and Let Die, which was problematic but quite enjoyable. If this is an indication as to where the Bond films are going from here, I'm not looking forward to the next outings. Let's start with the opening title song by Lulu. I have to say, this is without doubt, for me at any rate, the worst title song for any Bond film. I hate this song. It's just painfully excruciating to listen to as Lulu just warbles and screeches through terribly written lyrics that are really quite literal. At one point she sings, "He will shoot anyone with his gun." I like the idea of the main villain. This is kind of like an opposite to Bond. He should be his equal in many ways, but and the fact that it's played by Christopher Lee as well. This guy was Dracula. He's got a lot of presence usually, but in this film he doesn't really make much of an impact. I find him a little bit lackluster, and the showdown that he has with Bond at the end is just so anticlimactic. It just doesn't really go anywhere. He doesn't even have a decent henchman, and I know a lot of people will curse me for saying that because Nick Nack's quite highly regarded by some people, but not by me. I just find him annoying, this little annoying guy with his squeaky voice who's just... I don't know, I don't get this character. It's just, he's after inheriting Scaramanga's island if Scaramanga dies, but he loves him so he doesn't want him to die. It's a weird little relationship that they've got going on, and it doesn't really excite me in any kind of dramatic narrative level. We also find out that Scaramanga has a third nipple. Yes, that's right, as Chandler Bing from Friends put it, a nubbin. Scaramanga's got a nubbin, and it's just like... We've had some serious deformities in our villains, in our Bond villains before, with metal hands and metal teeth coming very soon, but it's just, really? A third nipple? That's what you're giving us here? Okay. There are a few nice scenes dotted throughout the film that are really well scripted, like the opening scene with M, when Bond first comes in and we have this scene with him and M. The dialogue there is really nice, and I really like Bernard Lee as M. With each film he consistently impresses me. He's not really ever given a right lot to do, but I feel like he elevates what he is given to do. He injects little moments of character in there, and he's always got sass for Bond. He's always like got an attitude with Bond that is believable. I always buy it. So yeah, credit to Bernard Lee, and like I say, the scene with him in at the beginning is very well written. I like the dialogue, but then it contrasts with really lame scenes that come after that aren't very well written. There is one more good scene with Bond and the maker of Scaramanga's ammunitions, the maker of his gun and his bullets, and the scene there between him and Bond is again really well scripted and really well played, but there's just not enough of that throughout the film. We get a return here as well of the character from Live and Let Die, J.W. Pepper, and can anyone honestly say, hand on heart, that they wanted this character back? The executives who made this film clearly thought so, but I don't think any of the success of Live and Let Die had anything to do with this character. So it's a real big misjudged misstep for this film, because every scene that he's in, he just brings it right down. And there are moments as well that should be really exciting, but one of the best car stunts I've ever seen in any film, let alone a Bond film, is just completely ruined by this weird warbling sound that they stick over it. I mean, who honestly sat there and thought, yeah, that'll improve that scene? And here's a question. Why does Bond need to track down the bullet that was used to kill 002 in order to find Lazar, when he himself has been sent a bullet from Scaramanga, one of the same kind of bullets he uses? Surely the ballistics on this bullet would be identical. At this point in the series, Desmond Llewellyn as Q just really annoys me as well. I've never liked this character. I don't like him here. I keep saying this, I know, and probably annoy fans. Fans really like this character. I get what he does for Bond, I get the idea of him, and I like that idea, but I don't like Llewellyn in the role. I think he always delivers his lines in such a ham-fisted way. It switches me off straight away. Britt Ekland is awful as Goodnight. Even in scenes where she's actually written as quite an intelligent and helpful person, she comes off as a total bimbo. I mean, literally, when she's introduced, she helps Bond in quite a few ways actually, but at the start she helps him track down this car, and she shows her intellect in that scene. And later on, when Bond is making advances at her and she's able to turn them down and walk away, admittedly she comes back later, but on paper, she comes across, at the start at any rate, as an intelligent, rounded character. But just by the way in which Ekland plays her, you don't buy any of that intelligence. You don't even pick up on it, because she just comes across as a total idiot bimbo. Maud Adams is much better in the role of Scaramanga's reluctant lover. However, when she first meets Bond, Bond's mistreatment of her is very hard to watch and certainly impossible to endorse, and it's really hard to believe that this woman would ever fall for Bond in the way that she does. There are some really badly staged fight scenes throughout this film, either as a result of some terribly signposted choreography or just really misjudged humour that isn't funny at all. Why bother taking Bond to fight school? Just kill him and get it over with already. The music throughout this film is quite nerve-threading, to be honest, but that's mainly because it does tie into the opening song. So even on an orchestral level, I still hear Lulu in the back of my mind grating through my head. I just do not like the score at all to this film in any way. There are a few things, like I said, that make this film watchable. A couple of well-written scenes, characters like M. Moore is quite good in this film, despite what's going on around him, and there are some fairly decent action scenes, not the fight sequences, but things involving vehicles and whatnot that are quite good, if sometimes ruined by stupid sound effects. But all in all, this is probably, so far in the series, the worst of the Bond films, the worst of the entire series so far, and I have to give this film a 4 out of 10. So what did you think about this film? Do you think it's as bad as I did, or do you think I'm being too harsh on it? Comment below and let me know. And until next time, thanks for watching. This film sees Bond on the